Hey guys, Greg here. It's my sad duty to report to you that one of our fellow vinyl community YouTubers and vinyl collectors has had a devastating loss in the recent flooding up in Michigan. And up in Michigan, well, they had humongous rainstorms all throughout the Midwest, but in Michigan they had two dams burst and devastated a couple of small towns. Uh, 10,000 people evacuated and a lot of property damage, up to 9 feet of water above the ground in some places. And our good friend Steve Carlson apparently lost most, if not everything, he owns and his entire vinyl collection. He's been collecting for, I don't know, 40, 50 years maybe. Huge collection. I don't know how many thousands of records he had, but very sad because Steve is really, I consider one of the top collectors in the vinyl community here on YouTube. And he's just one of the nicest, most humble, modest guys there is. So it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, unfortunately. Steve is just we all love his channel. Hopefully you subscribe to him, and you're thankful for getting to see his Sunday morning show. Every Sunday morning, like clockwork, Mr. Rogers comes out and does the shoes and the sweater, and shows us his great vinyl picks. And he's always got a great attitude, funny things to say. And the amount of good karma that Steve has spread around, I know a lot of good karma is going to come back to him. And there's actually a GoFundMe being set up for him to raise money to help him um, replace his collection and anything else he needs. And I gave this morning, and I'm going to encourage you guys to give. The goal was $5,000. It was over 2,000 when I looked at it this morning. And even if you can't afford much, if you can afford a record player and some records and a video camera, you can probably afford $5 or $10. Give more if you can. Some people lost their jobs recently with the virus. I realize that I can't give anything, and that's certainly understandable. You can at least give him your thoughts and prayers and good wishes and all that stuff. He would appreciate that as well. So I'm going to suggest that we all use a hashtag, and I'm suggesting help Steve Carlson. Hashtag help Steve Carlson. Anytime there's kind of an event like this that you're trying to raise awareness for, it's a good idea to use a common hashtag, sort of drive people to the content. So if you're uploading anything in the next week or two, um, whether it's about Steve or not, if it's about vinyl or about Michigan, I'm going to suggest maybe you add the hashtag help Steve Carlson, which hopefully I'll figure out how to key into my video here somewhere, right about here. I'm using my HP laptop for this video. Usually I use a nice camera, so the video quality, the sound quality, not up to my usual standards, but challenging times, as they say. But let's think about the whole concept of what happens during a flood or devastating loss. It's a good time for us to be thinking about our insurance, and hopefully everybody has taken some steps to protect their vinyl collection. Number one, you have some homeowners or renters insurance. And number two, you've inventoried and documented your collection using a great tool like Discogs, which I highly recommend. Just catalog all your stuff on Discogs and print out those spreadsheets that Discogs can do for you on the online version. And doesn't hurt to video and photograph some of your more valuable things. But then you also might have to have a special rider onto your insurance policy to cover valuables that are over and above what like a normal person has. So if you don't have a special rider or addendum to your insurance policy, you're not going to get huge coverage for your collection. Those of us that have abnormally humongous collections really need to do that. And I think somebody needs to do a video on that. I work in insurance, but life insurance, not property insurance, but I could probably dig somebody up to talk about that. And then this whole concept of flooding. I mean, flooding and dam bursts are can be devastating, and I don't know how you prepare for something like that. I mean, besides getting the insurance, learning how to swim and keeping a kayak around, I don't know how you prepare for such a devastation. like this dam burst. But not to one up Steve, but here in Los Angeles, we actually had the most devastating dam burst disaster in U.S. history, and very few people know about it. Even people who live here in Los Angeles aren't aware that in the late 1920s, a huge dam burst up in a place called, I guess, Santa Clarita or something. It's about 60 miles north of here. 430 people died within a couple hours of that dam bursting, and the water rushed all the way from up there in Santa Clarita all the way to the Pacific Ocean, which means it covered and devastated 70 or 80 miles on its path of destruction to the ocean. And that dam burst actually ruined the career of a very famous guy, William Mulholland. And you've all heard of Mulholland Drive, which was named after him, and he was like the top civil engineer in LA at the time and brought the water to LA, and ruined his career because 400 people were killed. And Mulholland Drive is right up the street from me. I ride my bike there all the time, a block from here. Very famous street. Most people don't know the story of Mr. William Mulholland. Anyway, that's a little trivia just to kind of point out how devastating these dam bursts can be, and tell everybody to be careful. Please take a look at Steve Carlson's GoFundMe page. Please subscribe to him if you haven't already, and let people know that you're supporting Steve, and maybe you can give a donation. And I think that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and best wishes to Steve. Hope Steve gets back on his feet soon. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.